rose flowers from India. The topic today was production and export of flowers. Generally, as a condition, if you say production and export of flowers, there are limited flowers which have been exported from India, as per my knowledge. Generally, roses is the biggest quantity. When I'm talking about exports, it is fresh cut flowers, not dry flowers or some other flowers. Okay. Growing of flowers wise, production, when you talk about production of flowers can be taken as on date. We have traditional growing flowers which have been grown from very north to south and east to west. But as on date, the major flowers which have been grown not traditionally, but as per the market requirement are which can be grown and as well as export is roses, chrysanthemum, carnation, gypsophilia, hydrangeas, anthuriums, and many more. In India, and rather the best growing places for the flowers is always been Bangalore and Pune. This name will always come for production of flowers. While the reason these two places good for production is the climatic condition, soil conditions, and the water availability. For sure, Bangalore has some problem with water availability because they don't have river water. They always have to depend on borewell water. Pune in the particularly has good water connectivity and availability throughout the year. When we call production, see generally all these flowers what I mentioned can be grown and exported. But the major flowers exported in cut flowers is only roses. The reason is roses has a very good shelf life and it is good for transportation also because it can transport when we export it's exported very from America till New Zealand. We can export it. Okay, first we'll talk about production of flowers. Generally, production of these flowers requires a good soil, which should be porous, and generally red soil. This helps, porosity helps the water to drain good, by which we can take good production of the flowers. In roses, in particular, which we are expert is, we grow under greenhouse conditions. And generally all our greenhouses are of 1 acre each. The plantation wise, if you see, while plantation, we have to see which varieties what we are planting as per the market conditions. And the colors of the flowers. In India, mostly people prefer red color a lot. So whenever we are planting, we have a portfolio of, suppose if it is 100%, the portfolio of red will be around 50 to 60%, followed by other colors like red, means orange, yellow, pink, white. These grown flowers, what we have, can be sold in local as well as international market. Local market can be vary from from Delhi till south of India, and when it is export, it is vary from America till New Zealand. When we talk about, if you take particular about roses, generally this breed is bought from Europe, grown there. We bring all mother plants from there, then graft it here and do the plantation. Roses varieties comes with the royalties for making payment. comes with the royalty. And in India, because of less of plant protection rates, there is no royalties being paid by the farmers, and it is been grown throughout the India, and that is the reason why the major export is not happening. Now, government is working on this royalty part also. So in coming futures, we will be having all product royalty paid, and by which the export doors will be open for many farmers throughout India. The best part about growing flowers in India is because the places miss the area under which the cultivation is happening, and the farmers in India, the areas what they have for growing is majorly 1 acre, 2 acre, 3 acre. If it is a good farmer with holding big land, might be even 5 to 10 acres. This business is good for farmers for the reason uh, the whole family works in this. Yeah, the parents, the children, and even the grandchildren all together can work in the farms, and which helps to cut cost on the production, get good productivity, and the cost of production is less, and you can sell in market at a good price. The margins what we have seen the farmers are earning in both Bangalore, Pune, this region is majorly around 30 to 40%. And we have seen many farmers are entering into this business. Export wise, it has a very good market, subject to you have a good color mix as well as good quality of flowers, and you can supply flowers throughout the year. India, compared to the world market, we are not even 1% of the global market, what we grow flowers. The major growing flower destination is Kenya, Ethiopia. They have thousands and thousands of hectares under greenhouses. But when we go to compete against these big giants, our availability of supplies are very less. The major reason when we talk about exports to all these destinations is where India majorly lacks is quality supply throughout the year, lack on commitments, and timely supply of materials. The major reason for us lacking behind in export is also because of non-availability of freighters, space availability. Because of this Middle East problem, what happened of the war situation, the freight rate has gone up drastically high. Nevertheless, this are time being situation. But if you have a good product, for sure you will be having market throughout the year. The major consuming market of flowers is Europe, UK, Middle East, Japan, Korea. When you supply to this kind of markets, generally it is all on auction sale. Flowers are sold, and after that, the realization is then credited to the party's account. For sure, all these exports, what is happening, all the flowers should be royalty paid. There are big supermarkets in Europe like Tesco's, Asda, Aldi's. They buy huge quantities. But when to get an entry to this market, you should have certifications like MPS, MPS Gap, Global Gap, all these certificates, fair trade certificates. If you have this kind of certificates, then for sure you have a big market in front of you. From various products, what we have seen growing in flowers grown in India, people find Indian market as the best market as compared to Kenya and Ethiopia. The best part about growing flowers in our country itself is we all, it is in our culture to use flowers. One. Secondly, India is such a big market with huge population. If all people start buying flowers in India itself, we'll have a situation where we'll have to import flowers. For last so many years where we are working with, we try both local as well as exports. Earlier days we were 90% exports, but after COVID, we had to concentrate on local market, but the local market has paid more premium as compared to export market. Yes, there are festive seasons in India. If you see from September till June, it is festive season. Festivals, wedding ceremonies happening. If you have good quality product throughout this period, for sure you make a good fortune out of it. And if that is the case, there is means rural people will stop coming to cities. They will find good employment there itself in their villages. The best part about agriculture is it helps women empowerment. Lots of ladies, small, not small, but women who can't go out for work or who can't go in cities and work, they can get good employment in all these farms and get a good livelihood. And rather, when you say flowers is a delicate product. Women can handle it much better than the male person. Nowadays, for growing of flowers and agricultural produce, all government, all states are helping in a big way to all the farmers by creating subsidies. National Horticulture Board provides good amount of subsidy for growing flowers under protected cultivator. When we talk protected cultivator, it is under greenhouse conditions. Every district, every state has their own agriculture department. So to know more about the climatic conditions and weather condition and soil conditions, you can always get in touch with these people. And they will also guide which crop of flowers or which type of flowers is suitable for growing in this particular region. One example for this we can always say is like lilies or anthurium. Lilies and anthurium can be grown in places like Ooty or northeast, because the climates are cold throughout the year and this kind of flowers require good cold climate to grow. On the other hand, roses or you say chrysanthemum or gerbera, this can be grown at an altitude around 700 or 800, where there is a climate conditions like around say day temperatures around between 25 to 30 degrees and night temperatures around 18 to 20 degrees. For sure, there are 2-3 months in a year which are harsh, like the temperatures might go very high. If in that time, if you take good care of your product, like making good humidity or having some fogging system by which you can reduce the climate temperatures, for sure you can have good quality, good crop and good production. If you take care of these 2-3 months, for sure the whole year is promising and you can get good yield out of it. Since it is under covered conditions, it is always helpful means to get save your crop from wind, heavy winds, then rainfalls and all these things. What care you have to take is only of pests and diseases inside the greenhouses. Generally, thrips, mites are the major what do you call it, major pest which comes in this type of flowers. Transportation plays a big role from farm to the cities where the market is, because if the infrastructure is not good and the climatic not climatic infrastructure is not good, and the transport system like not refrigerated when, then there is a chance that the flowers don't arrive in a good conditions. And this is the reason, majorly a reason also, that our vast life or the flowers what we use don't last for long. Generally, it has been seen that flowers have been shipped in, supplied in trucks and all these things. For sure, it lasts for few days, but the actual life of this product is much more if it is taken care and transported in a good position. For farmers, we can call this as growing flowers as a very good cash crop. They can earn good in this, and compared to other crops, what I've seen farmers in our region nowadays, small farmers are being producing flowers, producing growing roses, chrysanthemum, carnation, and supplying to a big farm or a exporter, wherein they subsequently export the flowers. For local market, any size of your farm is okay to cater with and to survive with. But when you go for export, for sure you should have a minimum capacity of sale. If it is air freight, then 500 kg shipment should go. Otherwise, it is not becoming economical for one to export in international market. So when it is international market, volumes plays a role. And for sure, if you see, for getting sizable volume, you should have minimum 5 to 6 acres of your farm, wherein 500 kgs of the product should be produced in a day or two. Then only you can go for export markets. Otherwise, you have to survive on local market. Finding clients also, if you get a good client and if he is satisfied by your quality, for it is just a beginning then. Because if you satisfy his need in first shipment itself, not 1 2 shipments, he will trust you more, and he will definitely increase volume, and your business will also grow coming day by day. The biggest volume consumer for in export market, where we in India supply, or even Kenya, Ethiopia will supply, they will be supplying to all major supermarkets worldwide, because supermarkets will consume huge volumes which we can't even produce. It is that big. So comparatively, when you talk in flowers, flowers is, yes, a very good business for both local as well as export market. But yes, you have to be very vigilant, and you should give almost 24 hours of your day. It is like a baby, you have to take care of it. And seeing is believing. You have to trust yourself when you're growing this, doing this kind of business. You can't rely on third party for getting reports and see whether it is done or not. If you see it personally, for sure it is an excellent business. I wish you all the best for everybody. If any questions, please do let me know. Or if there is requirement, you can always mail me and we can always reply to you on email. Thanks from my side. Hello.
Thank you, Mr. for the detailed talk. I will take up some questions.
Yeah.
Just 1 second. Okay. So the first question is some basic questions first. So what are the is it okay? I mean, are you convenient switching on your camera so that it's interactive?
Okay.
Yeah, okay. I can see the video. Thank you. So what are the most popular flowers for export in India?
See, as on date, ma'am, roses is the biggest quantities what has been exported because roses can travel well and it has that much weight by which the shipment is not volume weight. When I say volume weight means the actual weight of the shipment is sufficient for getting the booking. Otherwise, what happens is if you say other flowers, say lilies is very bulky flowers, and one flower itself might weigh around say 200 grams or 150 grams. So in that case, the freight becomes very expensive. So roses, chrysanthemums, then carnations. These are the good flowers to be exported because it can be a competition in the world market.
Okay. And how does climate affect flower production for export markets?
See, if the if there is proper light throughout the year and the temperatures between say 18 to 20 degrees in the night and 25 to 30 or 30 to 35 during the daytime, it is an ideal condition for growing. Yes, India having all the seasons like winter season, rainy season, and the summer season. When you see area wise in Pune, we have good monsoon. The rainy season is always 3 to 4 months. So when there is less light and more of humidity, then it is a challenging for growing flowers. But that happens for 1 or 2 months. Otherwise, these regions are excellent for growing flowers. For that matter, Bangalore is the best place compared to whole of India, wherein it is not having much rains. Climate condition is pleasant throughout the year, and the soil condition is excellent in Bangalore. So that is why that region is flourishing with flowers. Hello.
Yeah, okay, sorry. The next question is, what are the key factors to consider for maintaining flower quality during transportation?
See, all these are perishable flowers. When you say flowers, it is a perishable product. Generally, after production, the cool chain is been maintained. Cool chain is been maintained means when you harvest, when you bring flowers to a post-harvest department, you should allow flowers to pre-cool. After pre-cool, it is packing. After packing, it is transported to whichever destination you have to transport. From your farm to the nearest airport or nearest supply chain, it has to go in refrigerated van. Generally, for export, we do that. When temperatures have been maintained between 2 to 4 degrees in the reefer van also. If you supply this kind of product to any market, the shelf life of the product will increase, the quality will be stagnant, and the buyer also on the counterpart is happy with your product. And it is then creating a consistent market throughout the year.
Okay. And which countries are the top importers of flowers?
Europe, UK, Japan.
Okay.
Generally for roses, Europe, UK is the biggest, ma'am.
Okay. And how important is certification like organic or fair trade for exporting flowers?
See, fair trade, global gap, MPS gap. These certifications help a lot. The reason is the supermarkets which are there, they always rely on this certification because that is an authentication of the product. Second is certification is that you are doing good agriculture practices, not using banned chemicals, harsh chemicals, mostly growing towards organic, and not using any child labors because when it is social audit also, that time it is seen whether all these things have been taken care of.
Okay. And what are the major challenges faced by flower exports today?
The biggest challenge is freight from India, ma'am. Many a time what happens is the immediate competition for us is Kenya, Ethiopia, because they are producing a huge quantities compared. We are not even 1% compared to them, but still we have a market. When we say market, means there are buyers from Europe, UK, Australia, New Zealand, or Japan, Korea, willing to buy from you. But the price of the product is cheap, but freight, when it comes to freight, it becomes a challenge. The reason is in India, we don't have fleeters who carry the product, means cargo flights. And the volume compared to other countries are also not good. So we have to carry all our flowers on passenger flights, wherein we have a limitation on quantity of the product to be exported. Second is now the war between which is happening in Middle East that has created a space crunch, because whatever was being supplied on sea is now being transferred to air. So when it is general cargo, for sure, general cargo's weight is high, and they are ready to pay higher freight compared to the perishable product. Perishable product becomes a last priority when it becomes when there is a crash crunch. So that is the reason we are lagging behind. Otherwise, prior to COVID, we were doing excellent. Not only we, in the whole of India who were exporting was doing excellent business. Once this situation in Middle East comes to an end, or if it is reduces the pressure there, we will be having a good market. Rather, market is already there. We can't supply that much quantity from here.
Okay. And how can small scale flower producers enter international export market?
See, small, when you, if it is a small farmers, as I mentioned, that the volume should be there, say around 500 kg. That is the minimum quantity which can go in air and which will be economical. If it is not possible for one farmer, then these farmers should get to miss 4 or 5 farmers should come along and then make a sizable quantity and export. Nowadays, government is promoting FPOs, farmer producer organizations, wherein you have n numbers of farmers registered with them. They can come under one umbrella and make a sizable volume and can export. That is possible. And rather in our region, it is already started. There are farmers who have come together with small farmers, found make a sizable quantity, and they're exporting flowers now.
Okay. What role do trade agreements play in flower exports?
When you say trade agreements with countries, hello.
Sorry, I didn't get your question.
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
When you say trade agreement, it is
I'll
country.
What role do trade agreements play in flower exports?
Yeah, but trade agreement means countries, right? You mean to say?
Yes, correct.
Yeah. See, generally what happens is, ma'am, every country tries to secure their own growers. Like, for example, in India, we are not allowed to import flowers. Import flowers in the sense we can't import roses into India because roses are already been grown in India, right? So that is why roses cannot be imported. The same way, when we export, every country has its own norms upon imports of flowers. The countries what I mentioned is Europe, UK, and all these countries. There is trade agreement, like there is no bar on exporting flowers or importing flowers in those countries. They can import flowers. Yes, when you say export to those countries, there are import duties lived by them at those corners. But as on date, if you see UK has removed import duties for flowers supplying coming there from throughout the world. So there we get an advantage. Almost 7 to 8% of duty is being saved by the buyers. So they are again looking at India for inputs. Europe still has a duty around 7.5% on import of flowers into their countries. So trade helps a lot, and the major part is only duties. If that has been taken care of, for sure, there is a good market.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Narendra, there are no more questions. So before we end, I would like to ask one question. So please explain a little about your career background and what made you to take an interest in this subject.
Okay, ma'am, I'm MBA Finance. I'm not an agriculture person. I was looking into this business accounts only. And when I saw, means when we were not doing good, and there were almost, means we were where the villages where we were having a business, women empowerment, women jobs, and all these things were there. When we decided we'll not close this company and we'll run it the way we want, means to try to make it survive in the local market as well as international market. But the team was good. Everything helped, and everything whatever we did was had a good growers. We got good staff who did an excellent job. And you can say today we are one of the biggest growers and exporters from India. Rather, we are first, I think so. So I was not an agriculture graduate, but once I started working with the field, with my people, it created an interest, and here we are today.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Rajendra. So, yeah. So now we have come to end of question round. On behalf of agricultureinformation.com, I'd like to thank you for the detailed talk and answering all the questions. And I also like to thank my editorial team for sharing the questions. The meeting will now be closed.
Okay, thanks a lot. Thank you.
You're most welcome. Thank you.